Hey, this is Casey Demchek, and this week I want to talk about mistakes that you don't want to make when you're writing your book marketing copy. Now, I've worked with a lot of authors over the years and gone through their marketing copy that they've tried to write themselves, and I tend to see when I'm looking at their first drafts the same type of mistakes. So a great way to learn how to write book marketing copy is to learn how not to write book marketing copy. So this week I'm going to go over 4 big mistakes you don't want to make when you're writing your marketing copy for your book. And I'm going to start with some general overview type of mistakes you don't want to make. And next week, I'm going to get into some more specifics. But again, a great way to learn about how to write book marketing copy is to learn the mistakes and pitfalls that you want to avoid. So to go over this set of mistakes, we're going to jump into my example board here. So give me 1 second to share my screen. And there we go. And just a reminder, all these book marketing copy tips, how to write marketing copy for your book, tips that I'm giving you is based on my experience writing marketing copy for nearly 200 books, about 39 or so that have become Amazon bestsellers. This is just a little snippet of a few of the books for which I have written book marketing copy. And with that, we're going to get on to this week's training. 4 big book marketing copy mistakes that you definitely want to avoid. The first one you want to avoid is focusing too much on what your book is about when you write your marketing copy. If you follow me, you listen to my videos, you hear me touching this point a lot, and it's really important. When you're writing your marketing copy, you don't want to just start writing descriptions of what your book is about. I know that sounds a little counterintuitive. You want to focus your marketing copy on what people are going to get out of your book. So when the mindset you want to have when you're writing your marketing copy is, what are people going to get out of reading my book? What's the benefit to them? What transformation are they experiencing? If you write about that, if you write about what people are going to get out of your book, they'll know what your book is about. So always focus on what people are going to get out of your book. Get out of the mindset that you need to write descriptive copy that details what your book is about. Mistake number 2 I see is lack of voice or personality in book marketing copy for the authors that I work with. Sometimes when you write your book marketing copy, you can get so focused in on what to say and exactly how to describe something or how to write that benefit-driven copy that your marketing copy for your book lacks a voice. And so you can kind of save this step if you really need to towards, when you're doing revisions for your copy. But make sure your marketing copy has a distinctive voice. For example, if you've written a very humorous book, your marketing copy should have a humorous tone to it. If you've written a dark, deep, psychological thriller, your marketing copy should have kind of that dark edge to it. A business book, maybe, your copy should have a very authoritative tone to it. Self-development book, maybe a nurturing tone, but you want to make sure that your marketing copy has a distinctive voice to it. Otherwise, your copy can come, if you don't have a voice if you don't give your copy some voice and personality, it could come across as kind of boring and stilted, and then it just blends in with all the other books in the market who have bad book marketing copy. Okay, a little break from the tips here. I want to tell you about some more free stuff you can get from me. I love doing these videos for you, but you can also hop on down to my website. I got the link right here, and pick up my free ebook, 7 Must-Know Copywriting Secrets to Sell More Books. You always want to have this within arm's reach when you're writing your book marketing copy. I've got a lot of good tips in there for you. That you can refer to as you're writing your book marketing copy. You can go to caseydemchek.com/secrets, or just drop on down to the description of this video here on YouTube, and you'll see a link there. Just click that. It'll take you right to the page where you can download this free ebook. A lot of cool stuff in here. I think you'll really like it, so I encourage you to go get that copy of it. All right, mistake number 3. Being too much of a grammar nut. Now, I'm not advocating writing sloppy copy. Don't go nutsy crazy by it. It doesn't mean you don't have to, you can misspell words and all of that. But sometimes I work with authors and they get hung up on these grammar rules they were taught in junior high school by their mean teacher. And they think, God, I can't end a sentence with a preposition. Well, if you follow your grammar rules too close, your marketing copy is going to feel like an English paper. And it's going to be kind of stilted and boring, and it's not going to have that voice or personality to it. Real basic example, the sentence, he's a nice guy to have a conversation with. That ends with a preposition, so that's a no-no. But the proper way to write that, he's a nice person with whom to have a conversation can come across as a little stuffy. It might not match the personality of your book. So I'm a big advocate of writing in a conversational tone, write the way we talk. And sometimes we violate grammar rules when we talk. That's just the way it is. So again, I'm not advocating being too sloppy with your copy, but don't be afraid to bend a few grammar rules, like, ending a sentence with a preposition. You can split an infinitive, and I've gotten chewed out for doing that when I've written marketing copy. I had someone say I have a very educated group, and if I split infinitives, they're going to go berserk. I know a lot of educated people, and I've asked a lot of them, you know what it means to split an infinitive? And they'll say something like, no, I know what it means to split my pants, but not an infinitive. So again, take into account who your audience is, but don't be afraid to bend a few grammar rules if that's what it takes to make your copy conversational and engaging. Okay, overview mistake number 4, and this one's a little bit unique. I see a lot of authors using endorsements that are way too long, and I'm going to illustrate this point for you so you know what I mean. Here's a couple endorsement lines that I just kind of made up. If you take a quick look at these, they're very short, crisp, and concise, very quick and easy to read, which means people are more likely to read them. They're just a couple lines each. The third one's got a couple words on a third line. But if you just glance at these, if these were on a back cover or a website sales page or inside of an e-blast, you'd read these because they're really short and crisp and look quick and easy to read. But now look at this one. This is kind of a combination of the two I just showed you a second ago. I'm going to read this to you. It says a lot of nice things, but just look at it. If you look at this, it looks like it's going to take a long time to read. It kind of looks like a slog to get through, especially if you're reading this on a phone. But here's what it says. Wow, I've read a ton on this topic, but this is the book that presents this information in simple steps I can implement quickly. A big time thumbs up. The author has done a fantastic job here and really knocked it out of the park. The book is going to reshape careers and make a major impact on a lot of people's lives. If you want to land that dream job you've always wanted, this book provides you with a wealth of information on how to do it. It's a must read. Now, if you get an endorsement like this from an influencer or somebody in your network, you'd be ecstatic. You'd be like, wow, this has a lot of cool stuff. Problem is, if you slap this on your back cover or website sales page, unless it says Oprah underneath it or Tony Robbins or something, there's a good chance people aren't going to read it. Again, especially if this is on a phone, it just looks like too much to read. So if you get an endorsement like this that's long but good, you might want to think about editing it down into a tighter endorsement or breaking it up into a couple 3 different endorsement lines you can use so that your endorsement lines look more like that. Again, we love getting endorsements, and when they say a lot of good stuff, your natural reaction is, wow, this is great. But keep in mind, the idea of endorsements is to have people read them. If they look like this, people are more likely to read them than if they look like that. Okay, so the quick summary of some of your kind of general overview mistakes you want to avoid. You don't want to focus too much on what your book is about. You want to tell people what they're going to get out of your book. You want to avoid the mistake of having marketing copy that lacks personality. Again, you want your marketing copy to have a distinct voice that kind of matches the tone of your book. You don't want to be too much of a proper grammar nut. It's okay to bend a few rules if that's what it takes to make your copy conversational. And you don't want endorsements that are too long. That's what I just illustrated for you. More mistakes to come this week. I've seen a whole bunch of them, and you learn what to do by knowing what not to do. So I'm going to give you a few more mistakes that I see in my next video. So look forward to that. Finally, I want to leave you with a little motivational piece to get you pumped up a bit. I'm a big self-development fan. And one of my favorite self-development principles that's been around forever, I've read it in lots of books and stuff, is the power of wanting things and not feeling bad or guilty about wanting things. A lot of times when I work with authors, they kind of struggle with, I don't know if I deserve success, or I don't know if I deserve to sell a lot of books or reach a lot of people with my books, or I don't know if I'm worthy of that. I don't know if I'm big shot enough. Get that out of your head and just want success. Want to have a really good book. Want to have really good book marketing copy. Want to sell a lot of books, or want to make a big impact. If you put yourself in that frame of mind, that's just going to override these doubts you have about whether you deserve it or whether you're worthy of it. Again, this is a self-development principle. It's been around a long time, and I love it. A great way to implement it in your mind is just to think back to when you were a kid. You had no problem wanting things. I used to get the Sears catalog at Christmas time every year. And I'd go through it and go, Mom, I want this, I want this, I want that, I want this. I had no problem. And then I'd hear the ice cream truck coming down the street. I wanted some ice cream. Not only that, I wanted to be the first kid to the truck. So when we're kids, we don't feel bad about wanting things. And what we're talking about here, it isn't, I want to rob a bank or I want to shortchange people or rip people off. You want good things. You want to sell books. You want to reach a lot of people, make an impact. These are all good things. So don't feel bad about just flat out wanting success for you in your book. Okay. We don't need a blank screen, so I'm going to stop sharing here. Anyway, I hope these tips I've had for you this week in this video have been real helpful for you again. A great way to learn about how to write book marketing copy is by learning what mistakes you want to avoid. I'll be back with more mistakes for you next week to learn from. In the meantime, I've got some more videos coming up for you over here. Check those out, get information out of them, soak up the knowledge, and then take a lot of action and make things happen.